Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Microsoft 365 Pulse Roadmap recording. That's a mouthful to get out. Today, you get the Tom and Tamara show because Jen's off on vacation and Adam is hard at work with clients and customers. So, with that, it'll just be the two of us. Um, as normal, we will start with in development, which means these are the things that Microsoft is working on currently. And getting it ready to make its way out to the world. Then once it gets to that point, it goes to rolling out. Rolling out means it's on its way out to the different clients and tenants that it's projected for. So things that are going to GCC or GCC High will be making it out to those clients. And then at the very end, we have launched, well, not at the very end, but at the next end, we have launched, which means everybody to whom it was supposed to go to should have it by now. And on various occasions, we will also have canceled, which we do have in this particular one. And these are just changes where they say, hey, they're not going to do something because feedback said it's not a good idea, or they find duplicates or things like that. So with that, we will go ahead and get started with in development, and I will let my wife lead off with what kind of things she sees on the roadmap that make her happy.
Fabulous. Well, the first thing I see is Microsoft Teams button to join a meeting from a pre-join screen. So this is coming out in April of this year, and it says starting today or April of this year,
Whenever today is.
users can successfully join and participate in a meeting directly with their Teams button on their Microsoft Teams certified paraphernalia. After a user receives a meeting start notification, the user can press the Teams button to bring up their meeting pre-join screen. Now, a subsequent press of the Teams button will allow the user to join the meeting. So I think that's pretty cool.
I would think it was cool if I had Teams paraphernalia.
Yeah, I don't have Teams paraphernalia. And then Microsoft Teams attach cloud files in chat and channel from Teams mobile. So introducing the ability to upload files from OneDrive from Teams mobile chat and channel. So also view recent files and attach most used files up front from the recent section. This is also due out in April. And then the last one I want to touch on, which makes my heart skip with glee, Microsoft Teams profanity filtering on-off control for live captions. Yes. So with the newly introduced toggle for turn on and off profanity filtering, users will now be able to control whether they want to continue to leverage the profanity filtering capability provided out of the box, or if they want to see every word as is. That's rolling out in May. I'm thinking in a heated meeting, that could be the most entertaining part of the entire meeting. What do you think, Tom?
Could be. I go back to Enron days because I used to work for Enron, and I remember part of the downfall of Enron was giving an investor call after quarterly results were mentioned, and the CEO at the time was being grilled by a firm that basically was shorting Enron stock, and he didn't like where it was going. And after he finished, it's like, the guy said, "Okay, I'm done." He goes, "Thank you very much," and then proceeded with a profanity towards him. And of course, that was captured live and in living color, and it made the news the next day. So, yeah, having profanity filters might be a really good thing in many, many cases. So, cool.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Tom, what do you have?
I've got a couple that I will throw out here. One is Microsoft Teams Excel Live. Now, if you're in like the commercial clients, you've probably seen this one or maybe played with it. And that enables you to share an Excel spreadsheet during a Teams meeting. And everybody who is in the meeting, provided you're 25 or less, can collaborate on it at the same time. This is now actually making its way to GCC High and DoD. That should be out by April. So if you like to do collaborative editing on an Excel file during a meeting, this is a really good way to do it. So keep an eye open for that if you happen to be in those two clients. A couple other things I will scroll down through here. Actually, I've got a lot of things here that I can scroll down. Uh, I'm going to touch on three from Microsoft Syntex because they all are very close to each other. One is Microsoft Syntex. Combine two or more PDF files into a single PDF file with the merge PDF action in OneDrive for Android.
Nice.
So yeah, this using Syntex, you can combine it into a single one in your OneDrive for Android. In this case, lets you quickly combine multiple PDF files. Awesome. We have one that is also split PDF files into new PDF files with the extract action in OneDrive for iOS. So, and then the last one at the end is combine two or more PDF files for OneDrive for iOS. So it looks like on the iOS side, you're getting the ability to combine two or more, or to take an existing one and split it into multiple PDFs. On the Android side, it looks like all they're doing is giving you the combine feature at this point in time. The Android change is coming out to it's coming out in April. The two iOS ones are May, and it's really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Maybe you can enlighten me on this.
Hmm.
It's being rolled out to worldwide and DoD.
Interesting.
Yeah, usually, DoD is like the most secure.
Yes.
Obviously, worldwide is wide open. Usually it's like GCC first, then GCC high and DoD after that. I don't know if they just forgot to put GCC and GCC high in there, but it was a little weird just
No,
seeing it
what
go
it can be is it
directly
can
to
be a
DoD.
specific request from the people that own the
Ah,
DoD environment.
okay.
And
That
so
would
they
make
work on
sense.
it there first because it is a totally separate environment. And they've had to rewrite several of the features to
Okay,
work in a DoD environment.
sounds good. Another one that I'd like to mention is Microsoft Teams green screen in Teams meetings. So green screen improves the sharpness and definitions of the virtual background effect around your face, ears, head, and hair. Some of us don't have hair, so it's not a problem, but green screen will help. It also allows you to show a prop or other object in your hand to be more visible to other participants in a call. The virtual background with a green screen provides the best virtual background effect, consuming fewer system resources, allowing your teams to run smoother. Um, it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out because I know that depending on what you've got around your face or where your hands are or what's going
Hmm.
on, all of a sudden it's like your hand disappears. It's back. It's gone. It's back. I think Jen last week she had earrings on that were large and had holes, in them, and her ears were kind of disappearing on and off throughout the entire call. So I think having the green screen might give you a more appealing thing of not having parts of your face appear and disappear based on what the blur feature ends up doing. And one more that I will go ahead and throw out there, actually two because they appear to be similar. Microsoft Teams enables second video stream with Teams content camera on desktop, and there's also invoke content camera on desktop feature. So what they're basically doing is if you're trying to share a document, you can have a second camera, which is like a document camera, that is showing that particular document, but you can also be showing your face at the same time. So you can have two of those things going if you have two different cameras. So I don't know how often you might want to do that, but if you do a lot of sharing of documents, almost think of like old school where you used to have the document that you'd put under the overhead projector that would then project it up on the wall. I think it's that kind of bit where everybody can see the document that you're working with, even though it's not electronic at that point. Um, see, blah, blah. The personal video is expected to be maintained so long as the user selects a separate camera to support the two video streams. So look forward to that if that is a situation that plays out for you. And it's coming to all the clients worldwide, GCC, GCC High, and DoD. So should be out sometime this month. Keep an eye open if it looks interesting to you. Tamara, any other ones you want to grab onto there?
I'm good with in development. I'm ready for rolling out.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and start with rolling out since you got to start with the last one and I control the mic. Hey. um, my favorite one, just because of what they call it, this is rolling out the Microsoft Teams ultrasound howling detection. Ow!
I love that.
Yeah, it is just the most awesome name. It's everybody's getting it. It'll be out this month. But what that basically means is if you're in a room with like two people who have their mic open and they're close to the speakers and you've all heard it before, all of a sudden you're getting this, heavy duty ultrasound howling. And you see it at concerts if somebody gets too close, mic to speaker and you get the feedback thing going on.
Or you get
This
the
is
echo.
or you get the echo. It's like if multiple users on laptops join from the same location, we share with the user that another team's device is detected in the vicinity and is already joined with audio to the current meeting. We will automatically mute the mic and speakers of the person who has joined, post a user who is joined with audio on. So it doesn't sound like this is going to help people like I'm on a call, you're on a call, three other people are in another call somewhere else, but close to each other. It's more for you're all in a room. So it's more like live meetings where you've actually got actual bodies sitting there. But keep an eye open for that. You'll get less of that thing where all of a sudden you get the noise and the people on the call are going, "Oh, God, that hurt the ears." So that should help with there. Tamara, I will go ahead and let you chime in here before I take any other ones.
Mine's a real simple one, whiteboard timer. I
Ooh,
thought this is great and it just showed up in my environment. So, adding a timer to whiteboard to help enable users to run timed activities such as a timed brainstorm. I think this is great, especially if you're having people like fill out ideas on post it notes and you give them 5 minutes. It actually puts the timer on the screen so people can see the countdown, which I think really helps with time management.
it does. And the thing that's nice about this feature is if you're in a shop that is using a different whiteboard that's more like specific to whiteboard, more best of breed type thing, i.e., mural, um, they've had some of these features. One of them is being the timer, and they're like, well, we have exercises and we need the timer, and whiteboard doesn't have timer. Well, a number of whiteboard features that have recently come out almost are like, let's bring up our parity to what Mural has. Whiteboard is one of those that I think is going to fall into that particular category. So
Mhm.
that is really cool. Did you have another one that you wanted to talk about or?
Um, I think most of the other ones we've already talked about.
Yeah, we have. One that I'm still waiting to see come out. I don't think it's hit our tenant yet, and that is SharePoint export Microsoft List as a data set for Power BI Data Hub. So again, if you're used to getting Excel files that you export and then you feed into Power BI, is going to enable you to say, hey, I just want to go ahead and put it out to a power or out to a data set for Power BI. I think it'll kind of eliminate some of the moving parts and just allow you to get directly to where you want to be. Not being a Power BI person, I couldn't give you the pros and cons of that, but hey, look for it if that's your world. So let's go ahead and move on to launched. Go for it.
All right, Microsoft Project Assignment View. This feature provides more precision in project planning and estimation by letting you edit resource work schedule. And this rolled out just in March of this year.
Looks like it went
So
to everybody too.
that's something new.
The two ones that I will also talk about, because this is kind of where my world is right now, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Microsoft Stream, IT admin led migration tool to move videos from Microsoft Stream Classic to new Stream on SharePoint. So this tool is going to enable you to say, hey, I've got these particular items on Stream Classic. They're in these containers, which is either the person who uploaded them or a channel or a Microsoft 365 group, and I need to migrate them to In the case of a person, it needs to be migrated to their OneDrive. In case of a company-wide channel, which SharePoint site are we sending it to? We expect the migration tool to start rolling out under public preview in late August 2022 into GA in February 23rd, February 2023. That actually did get rolled out. I will say I've listened to a couple of calls that Microsoft has had with people who are involved in doing migrations of this. There are a lot of very unhappy people with the migration tool and the fact that one, they try to migrate and, it says, oh, we migrated 57 items, and you look and there's only like 25 that have been migrated. Plus, they don't have any filtering yet. That's in June. So you can't say, okay, I only want to migrate things in this container that are from, you know, July of
This
this
date
year,
forward.
yeah, going forward type thing. And for those of us who have been running Stream for 4 or 5 years, I don't want to take a bunch of old content. I want to say I'm only taking content from the last 2 years. That needs to get resolved. The other thing is apparently it's not terribly fast. And the deadline to have everything migrated, based on what they're currently saying, is February of 2024. So I think a lot of people, especially we had one instance where I was listening to an educational person talk, like, we have 90,000 videos. We're on summer break. We're coming back in fall, and you're expecting us to get all the teachers to review all their videos in like 3 weeks so we can then migrate them. And I don't think we can migrate that many in that much time. So I'm expecting, and that could be phrased as hoping, that they will come back and say, we've had to readjust the timeframes that we have available to us because they're going to be really tight to try to make those timeframes that they have. If you have any, if you have 300 or 400 videos, it's not that big of a deal. If you have thousands like we do, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. The other stream one that we have out there is variable playback speed support for zero 0.5 up to 2 times for all videos on OneDrive and SharePoint. So this is the stream on SharePoint thing. And that's basically going to allow you to either slow down the video or speed it up so you can watch it twice the thing and play, Alvin and the Chipmunks for, your CEO as he's talking. That is something that is really cool. Apparently, team meetings already have this functionality. Now they're just adding it to all other videos stored in OneDrive and SharePoint. So I will admit they're doing a really good job in trying to get some level of parity with the stream player and the stream environment, quote unquote, in the SharePoint side, as opposed to what they had in Stream Classic, which the things were stored in Azure and had a whole different interface. There are still some differences, and the whole way of where things are stored in Stream Classic, it's like you go out to Stream and there's all the things and you can view everything. Now it's going to be, you can go to your stream thing and it'll show you things you have access to, but those are going to be spread throughout your entire SharePoint and OneDrive environment, and you're not going to see everything in one place anymore. So yeah, that's going to take some getting used to for people. But anyway, they are making changes. They are getting these changes rolled out. If you are involved in that, keep an eye open for this space. And then the final cancel that we have, which I did mention we had one, is for Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal Audit Support for Customer Key for US Government Cloud. So this would be GCC, GCC High, and DoD. This feature is postponed indefinitely. Doesn't tell us why, doesn't tell us when it might be back. It's just not coming out in the time frame that they were talking about, which was June of this year. So if that's something you were looking for, you may want to temper your expectations for a bit until they get around to actually doing it. And with that, that pretty much covers our roadmap for this week. Join us next week when we'll have at least Tamara and I, because we sit in rooms back to back here, so we're always here. But hopefully we can get Jen and Adam and we can do this again for you and let you know what's going on so you don't have to wade through on your own. And with that, everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you again next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye now.